invite Dr. S. Vijay Bhaskar, Professor, Department of EEE, PA College of Engineering Technology, to give a keynote address on energy scenario on conservation. Sir, now session is yours. Very good morning to the participant. My voice is audible? Anyone please?
Is sir audible, sir? Yeah, thank you. So very good morning to one and all. So myself, Dr. S. Vijay Bhaskar, Professor and Head, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, PA College of Engineering Technology, Pollachi, Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu State. So myself as a coordinator of this Atal FDP. So in my talk, I will touch upon first is energy scenario, then energy conservation, then introduction to renewable energy system. If time permits, I will touch upon smart grid system also. So in my keynote address, first topic I will start energy scenario. So look at this. This is Earth at night time. If you see here, this is the picture was taken by the NASA. Okay. If you see the picture, it is taken at the night time. Okay. So from that, if you see the other countries like Africa, then Australia, then Russia, then America, everything. If you see that in India, it full of light glows. What it indicates? It indicates that almost all the states are electrified. I can use the word electrified. Okay, am I correct? If you see the compared to the Africa and Australia and other countries, if you see the India full of electrified, that means we have a lot of generating stations as well as the power to meet our demand. Okay. So if you see that all over India, the current world population is 7.9 billion. The current Indian population, if you see here, 1.39 billion. So India population equivalent to the 17.7. That means equal to 20% of the total world population. So this is the drawback of our in India. Okay, 20% of world population we have. But in the term of, if you see the electrified, almost all the states are electrified. Because of electrical generation, we have a lot in India. So the old energy scenario, if you see this, the coal global reserve 861 billion tons. The reserve per product, if you see 120 years at present consumption rate. If you see the oil global reserve 1,669 billion barrels, the reserve by product is 42 years at the present consumption rate. If you see the global reserve 187.3 trillion cubic meter, the reserve production only 60 years at present consumption rate. So next, if you see here the location of the world main fossil fuel reserves. If you see the Middle East, they don't have a coal, but they have oil and gas lot. So that's why we are importing from the Middle East, oil and gas. If you see the South Africa, so South America, they have a oil, the little bit of coal and gas. If you see the Africa, they have a little bit of gas and oil and coal. So obviously, if you see the India, we have a coal lot, but oil, gas, very, very minimum. So that's why we are importing from the Middle East countries. If you see the other countries like Asia, then China, then Russia and America, they have a lot coal. Okay. So this slide shows that location of world fossil fuels reserves like gas, oil and coals. So if you see here, the 85% of the world commercial energy, only the fossil fuels like coal, natural gas and oils. The conversion of power generation, if you see the coal and oil, gas, the 60 to 80% through fossil fuels only. So what happened? The drawback of these, the fossil fuels, it emits the carbon dioxide. It leads to the global warming. Again, nowadays we are more talking about the global warming. What happened? The global climate will changes. Okay, sea levels are rising. Okay, then skin problem will take place in human beings. So all this happened through only the fossil fuels. because of we are generating the power through only the fossil fuels like coal and gas and oil. That is mass production. So as our guess says that the total installed capacity like 3,90,000. So in that renewable energy, almost we are reached, as on now we have reached nearly 1 lakh megawatts. The percentage, if you see the 26% of the renewable energy, already we have improved because of depleting of coal and oil and gases. So if you see after 100 and 200 years, there is no coal, gas and oil available in the world, in the India, also the world. Okay, the alternate solution only the renewable energy sources only. Okay, that too particularly solar and wind. Solar we have plenty of solar energy we have. Okay, because 24 hours we have a solar energy. Not only in India, 12 hours one side means again 12 hours in another side of the country, all over the world. So that means we have 24 hours sunlight we have. So the alternate energy, only the renewable energy source, so that to solar and wind. So the solar will roll major compared to the wind. Okay. So through the coal and gas and oil power generation, it emits a lot of carbon dioxide. It leads to global warming. Okay. Also the pollution control also takes place in all over the world. So if you know that by production of 1000 megawatts power station, if you want to build a 1000 megawatts power station, we need a 500 crores. Sorry, 5,000 crores. Okay, 5,000 crores. So in that, for that we need a coal of 12,000 ton per day every day. Also the furnace oil 101 metric cube per day. Then water also 98,000 cubic meter per day. So we need a 80 megawatts power for the inside the operation of the power plant. We need a 80 megawatts. So if from the power station, it's coming out the carbon dioxide. If you see the carbon dioxide level, 30,000 ton per day. Also it produces the SO2, then NO2, that means nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide. It produces combination of that 680 tons per day. So what happened due to the nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, we will get an acid rain from the sky. Okay, it leads to the more problem for the human beings. Using the carbon, if it releases the carbon dioxide, from that the global warming takes place. Okay, for that reason only we are promoting nowadays the renewable energy power generation. Also we are depleting the coal also. Okay, the both reason we are nowadays we are more talking about only the renewable energy, that to solar and wind. So if you see the biomass and tidal, that and all, it's very difficult to implement, difficult to maintain also, but very easy to maintenance and easy to generate only through solar and wind only. Maintenance free, pollution free generations only through the solar and wind generation. Okay, so this shows that how the 1,000 megawatt power generation need a how many crores, how many input, how many outputs. So if you see this PPT, electric generation makes more than electrons. That means if you see the one power plant I have shown here, also the wind power plant shown here, everything connected to the electricity into the grid only. But due to the thermal power plant, it releases the carbon dioxide. So from the carbon dioxide, the global warming will take place. Okay, am I correct? So what is global warming? You know very well, that we'll see the later also. Also, the thermal power plant releases the sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide. It creates the acid rain and it will create the health impacts also. If you go for the solar and wind, it's a green environmental. Okay, green environmental energy. So that too connected to the grid. So future plan only the green attributes like the solar and wind power plants only. So next, the resource potential, if you see here, the renewable energy resources potential exceeds today world energy consumption. Estimated renewable energy source potential. So solar, we have a plenty of renewable energy source potential compared to the biomass, hydroelectric, geothermal and wind. We have a lot of potential in the solar side. So The renewable energy, the mostly we can generate through the solar, then wind only. So the world energy consumption, if you see here, the oil only 33% only. The world energy consumption only oil 33%, coal only 27%, gas is 1%, nuclear 6%, then hydro 2%, the solar and wind and others put together is only as on now only 11%. Now it's keep on improving. So the world energy in future, if you see that 2035, if you see, almost we are planned to reach 14.2% of renewable energy sources. Okay, so that time already defaultly we can say that coal and oil almost it's reducing. If you see that petroleum product, that is oil 29.3%. At the time, the coal, if you see that 27.2%, natural gas, if you see that 22.7%, the renewable energy sources, I already told that it increased to 11 to 14.2%, nuclear, if you see 6.7% only. So this PPT shows that electricity generation from selected fuels. So already I told you that at present we have power generation through gas, renewable, nuclear and coal for massive production only. Okay, if you see at present, if you see the natural gas, only from 37% only we are generating the power. So using the renewable energy 19%, using the nuclear 19%, then coal 24%. If you see the future projection, if you see that 2050 year, if you see that the natural gas almost 36%, we can generate the power. So the renewable energy improved 19 to 38. Multiply that 2 times, it's improved. Okay, so that means there are a lot of projects are going in and around the India. Okay, all the states are nowadays concentrating on the renewable energy sources only. So that to 19 to 38%. If you see the nuclear 19 to it's reduced to 12% in forthcoming years. If you see the coal 24 to 13, almost 2050 it reduces 50%, it will reduce. Again, if you see the 2100 and 2200 year, there is no coal available in the world itself. Okay, so there is only alternate solution, only the renewable energy sources only we can generate the power. So this shows that renewable electricity generation including end use. If you see here, at present the solar only 15%, around 15 to 17. Wind, if you see at present 38%. If you see the geothermal only 2%. Hydroelectric, if you see 37%. Other put together, if you see 7%. If you see the forthcoming years, that is our projection. If you see that the solar will increase 15 to 46. Again, the wind increased 38 to 33. Geothermal 2 to 3. Hydroelectric, if you see 37 to 14. So others, if you see 7 to 5. So this is renewable electric generation in forthcoming years. It shows that. So next we coming to the Indian energy scenario. So far we have seen the world energy scenario. If you see the Indian energy scenario, the energy statistics of India, if you see here, the petrol product only, the reserves only 660 million metric tons. The life in year only 4. If you see the natural gas, the reserves 648 billion cubic meter. The life in years only 25. If you see the coal, the reserve 110 billion cubic meter. The life in years only 160 years only. Billion metric meter coal. So if you see that energy outlook for India, sourcing of energy remaining a challenging one with the 17.5% of global population. Already I told you that at present we have 17.7% of global population. So also 0.5% of world petroleum reserve only we have. Then 7% of world coal reserve only we have. These are the challenges of our power generations. So next, this was this coal in India, coal available in India. Coal India is the world largest coal producer. The India is the world largest coal producer. If you see that, the Northeast, if you see the Orissa, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh and all, they have a lot of coal now. Now they have a lot of coal. After 100 years or 200 years, there is no available in that place also. If you see the south side, only Neyveli Lignite Corporation, we have a little bit, almost now it's that is comes to the end. NLC already comes to the end. All the coals are depleting. Okay. So this PPT shows that India electricity production by source. So as of now, if you see that we are generating the more power through fossil fuels, that is coal, oil, and thermal. Okay. So if you see the another renewable energy like hydro and renewable, almost we are reaching equal nowadays. So nuclear, we are reaching nearly we are maintaining the constant. We cannot improve because there is a lot of problem takes place. We know that Kodangulam problem in Tamil Nadu. What happened when the nuclear power plant starts? What happened? There are a lot of problems. Lot of against the lot of against is also there. Okay, so it's very difficult to build a nuclear power plant to generate the power. So the only again I am telling the only alternate solution, only renewable energy sources only, because the fossil fuels are depleting day by day. So it shows that Indian installed power generation capacity. So already our chief guest also said that almost as on now we have reached 3,90,000 megawatts. That PPT shows here. So percentage wise, if you see here, the thermal, if you see 2,34,025 megawatts. Nuclear, if you see that 6,780 megawatts. Hydro, if you see that 46,512 megawatts. The renewable energy system you see here nearly 1,03,000 megawatts. So totally if put together 3,90,000 megawatts as and now the Indian installed power generation capacity. So Indian installed power generation capacity percentage wise, if you see here, the thermal 63, this is as on now. Thermal 63%, hydro 12%, nuclear only 2, renewable 23%. So this PPT shows that the top 5 states in installed capacity. So Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka. The white bar chart indicates that the maximum installed capacity. The violet indicates that demand, to meet the demand. Okay. So if you see the Maharashtra 41,397 megawatts, the demand meet is only 20,462 megawatts. If you see the Gujarat 30,330 megawatts, then demand 14,708 megawatts. Tamil Nadu installed capacity 26,865 megawatts, then demand 14,823 megawatts. Uttar Pradesh, if you see 21,112 megawatts, demand 15,501 megawatts. Karnataka 18,642 megawatts, to meet the demand 9,871 megawatts. So we are in the third place for installed capacity in India. We are in the third place for generating the power, including all renewable and non-renewable sources. So this shows that the top 5 state energy consumption for last 10 months. So again, we are in the third place for energy consumption in billion units. I have shown here. So again, I can say the Tamil Nadu in the third place for energy consumption. First is Maharashtra, then Uttar Pradesh, then Tamil Nadu, then Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, keep on going. But we are in the third place in India for energy consumption. So our aim is we are committed to make Earth a greener place. So thank you. This is for my first topic, energy conservation. So my second topic is energy conservation. Already I covered the first unit of total world and Indian energy scenario. So my second topic is energy conservation. So already I told you that coal and oil, okay, then nuclear, all are depleting. Okay, day by day we are depleting. The other solution, only the renewable energy. That too, I told you that solar and wind, because it's easily we can construct the maintenance free, okay, pollution free. So for that we are concentrating on only solar and wind. So also we can do, to save the power, we can do the energy conservation. Okay, so one thing we can go for in future, we can go for solar and wind. Another one is we can do the energy conservation. So then only we can maintain our power to meet our demand also. So Thomas Alva Edison says that I will not say I failed 1,000 times. I will say that I discovered there are 1,000 ways that can cause failure. In that quote, I will start. So this symbol shows that energy conservation. So energy conservation symbol, that means instead of incandescent lamp, fluorescent lamp, we can go for the CFL or LED. Nowadays, LED become more popular. You know very well, nowadays LED become more popular. Okay, because it consumes the less power. So it shows that power system. You know what is power system? So generation, transmission and distribution. So power system, nothing but a God. What is God? G means generation, O means operation, D means distribution. So this PPT shows that one line diagram of power system. You know, as a faculty members, you know generation, transmission and consumer. In transmission, we have a primary transmission, secondary transmission, primary distribution, then secondary distribution. So energy conservation, this is the very good picture of energy conservation. If you see that previously our grandmother, how they are saving the energy in terms of heat, I can say here in terms of heat. So how many parts are keeping on one by one up? Okay, so how we are maintaining the heat, because how we are conserving the heat energy. Like that, we have to conserve our energy also. So now the resource potential, if you see the renewable energy resource potential exists today, the world consumption. So already I told you that we have lot of renewable energy sources, solar, then solar only we have a lot of sources. If you see the wind, almost very small amount of wind sources only, because when there is a wind, then only we can generate the power. That's why it's a very small amount. Okay, so solar plenty, because 24 hours we are getting continuously in the solar. The old energy consumption, if you see here, oil only 33%, coal 7 to 27%, gas 21%, nuclear 6%, hydro only 2%, solar and wind others including all only 11%. So why energy conservation need? Why energy conservation needed? So because already I told you that the availability of fossil fuels limited and will exhausted around the year of 2100, 2200 or 200 years. To preserve the future generation. So also to minimize the capital investment in power sector and to contribute the other sector. That's why I already told you that if you want to generate the 1000 megawatts, you need to spend 5,000 crores. Okay, you can minimize the capital investment also. Also to minimize the environment pollution. Also to minimize the global warming. Nowadays we are talking more about global warming. So to protect more from climate change. So climate change sense, the sea level rises. Okay, nowadays the sea level all rises in the seas. Okay, so what will happen? It will come out to the land. Okay, the people who are living, okay, comes to our land place. So we cannot live. Okay, we cannot imagine also. So also to protect other creature from extinction.
So can you imagine that after 100 years or 200 years, without fossil fuels, after exhausting of our fossil fuels, how we travel without gas or without oil, without petrol, without diesel, how we can travel? So we cannot imagine. So if you want to imagine the future transportation is look like this only. It's a hybrid. Okay, you can say. So if there is no oil, there is no petrol, there is no power. So how will do? We can go for the hybrid vehicle like this only, horse combined with the car. Okay, we can go for like this only. We cannot imagine without the power and the coal and petrol and the, or diesel or oil. So next we will come to the global warming. So already I told you that. So due to the thermal power station, the nuclear power station, all it emits the carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide creates the global warming. Okay. So global warming, what will happen? If the global warming happens, increases in the average temperature of the Earth's surface. So what is global warming? So how global warming works? So you know all that, already I told you that because of power plants, then because of vehicle outputs, the vehicle outputs also carbon dioxide, everything goes up, okay, go to the sky. So in that sky, you know that there is a ozone layer, okay. If the carbon dioxide hits the ozone layer, what will happen? The thickness will be reduced, okay. It affects the ozone layer. So if it affects the ozone layer, what will happen? The sunlight falls without filtering to the earth. So earth means the human beings we are the human beings. So if you the sunlight touches our skin, what will happen? There will be skin problems, cancer problem, it takes place. So that's why everyone saying that we can reduce the global warming day by day. Every talk, everyone saying that the global warming will be reduced. So global warming due to only the fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas. So why is global warming happening? So burning of fossil fuels. That's the pollution from coal, natural gas, and oil, then smoke from our day-to-day life vehicles. So global warming, who done it? Who done it? So we are the creator of carbon dioxide. So the global warming, who done it is we. We are the user of creating the global warming. Okay, the industrial revolutions, the consumer culture. So if you see that the India are the green citizen of the world. So one thing I can proud. So India, the production of carbon dioxide only below the average level. If you see the United States, he is the one of the most producing carbon dioxide. He is the one of the most country to create the global warming also, I can say that. If you see the America, then Russia, Germany, Japan, France, Iran. So these 6 countries are creating the global warming. The major reason for global warming is these 6 countries only. Okay, if you see that annual tons carbon emitted per person, the United States, then Russia, Germany, Japan, France, Iran. If you see the India, almost 0. We are maintaining the 0. Okay, so one thing we can proud that India are the green citizen of the world. So I already told you that US and other countries, some of the countries, US and Russia, Germany, Japan, France are major contributor for global warming because they are producing more carbon dioxide. So what is the proof that global warming takes place? Okay. So if you see that trees affected by the acid rain, if you see the Taj Mahal, what happened nowadays? The world wonder movement of Taj Mahal in India built entirely in marbles and it's now prone to acid rain damage. So Portage Glacier snow meltdown. If you see the 1914 how it looks like nowadays in 2020 the Portage Glacier how it looks because all snows are melt down, all ices are melt down. So if you see the Arctic Ocean how in 1980
2020. So all this ices and snows are melt down. That means what it indicates that our sea levels are rising. So 3 years span of lake, Oroville, California, in the place of California, if you see the 2011 and 2014. So due to global warming, the snows are melted down in polar region. If 1918, if you see the polar region, now you see the polar region. So that's why there is so previously when we were childhood, we can talk about penguin. Nowadays there is no penguin available because of all snows are melting down day by day because of only the global warming. So acid rain stands on portal in Germany. If you see here, what happened due to the acid rain? So due to the global warming, water crisis takes place. Drought also takes place. Then pest control problems also will occur. So due to the global warming, if you see the ocean rise, okay, that means sea level, if you see that 2000, if almost zero. So 2100, if you see that, if it reaches almost 1 meter, if 1 meter sea level rises, what happens? You cannot imagine, okay. So all the seas are coming into the human living places. So we cannot live, okay. So we can reduce the global warming. So can we basic question on power generation. Is it efficient, whether sustainable, whether safe or secure? So we can ask ourselves. So status of energy usages. So already I told you that fossil fuel information takes million of years but consumes within a 300 years. So the alternate solution only the renewable energy sources and energy conservation. So renewable energy sources, so mainly that too already told you that solar and wind, from that only we can generate the power lot to meet our demand. So what can you do to help solve these problems? So what's being done now to reduce our emission? So we can go for wind power generation, we can go for the solar power, we can go for fuel efficiency vehicle like a battery vehicles. So energy conservation, to maintain the energy conservation, instead of 16 km/liter vehicle, we can go for the battery vehicle. Instead of 10 km/liter cars, we can go for the battery vehicles to reduce the carbon dioxide, also to reduce the global warming. So this PPT shows that energy cost for last 20 years. So if you see that 1991, almost 1 rupees per unit. So if you see now, the unit cost is around 6 rupees. So what is the reason behind this? So this is a comparison of energy cost with other countries. If you see that India, the average energy cost unit is 4.5 rupees. So if you see the USA only 2.3 rupees, then Canada 2.5 rupees, France 2.3, UK 3.5, Japan 6.1, South Korea 2.6, China 1.4 rupees only, Taiwan if you see 2.5, India only 4.5 rupees. The cost of energy cost rupees per kilowatt in India only very high, except Japan. So what is the reason? Why high energy cost? The reason behind that is the import of petroleum products. We are importing the petrol from other countries. Okay, importing of petroleum products, depleting of fossil fuels, import of coal from Indonesia and Australia, subsidies for energy costs for domestic and agricultural consumers. So these are the reason for energy cost high. So next we are promoting that to energy conservation, we are promoting the Energy Star rating. So if you want to buy any product, so you must buy with the 5-star rating. Okay, the 5-star rating components are, I can say that the 5-star rating components are, it consumes less power. So that's why we are promoting the 5-star rating component to purchase that for household appliances. So Government of India initiated to promote energy conservation in India in 2006 to educate consumer energy conservation saving. the star rating products, that cost saving potential of the market whole household equipments like fridge, washing machine, TV, fans, okay, geysers, the induction motor, all components are, all household and industry equipments are comes with 5-star rating. So we can go for 5-star rating for energy conservation. So if you didn't do that, then future our son will ask, Daddy ji, what you have left for me, for this our country? So we need to reduce the global warming. So we need to reduce the carbon dioxide. So we have promote the renewable energy systems, that to solar and wind. So this picture shows that we are coming from the earth only. So due to global warming, again we are going to the ground. Okay, if you are not maintaining the global warming, then you are reducing the carbon dioxide. So if you are not promoting the renewable energy sources, again we are going down. Okay, due to the global warming. So stop pollution, else end is near. So this is one other way we can call it as this is eco-terrorism. So due to the production of carbon dioxide to the nature. So this is the greenhouse effect, how the global warming takes place. This already we have discussed. So for energy conservation, do you know that to set up a power plant, it takes 5 years. To set up transmission line, it takes 1 year. To plan energy conservation, it takes 1 month. So to promote energy conservation, it takes only 1 hour. But to save energy for conservation, it needs only once again. What is that? Switch off the light when not in use. Okay. So save the energy. So next we will go for the introduction to renewable energy system. Okay. So we'll touch upon just introduction to renewable system. You know the types of energy, only renewable and non-renewable energy. Okay. The energy can be broadly divided into 2 categories, renewable energy and non-renewable energy. So renewable energy, you know that renewable energy can be generated continuously, practically without decaying of the source. So renewable energy is solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy and hydro energy. So if you see here, the India ranks 3rd in renewable energy generation in as on now. So India ranks 3rd place for generating the renewable energy in 2021 as on now. So as of 31st June 2021, the total installed capacity of renewable energy is 96.95 gigawatts. So the country has set an ambition target to achieve the capacity of 175 gigawatts worth for renewable energy by end of 2022, which expand to 450 gigawatts by 2030. This is the world's largest expansion plan is in the renewable energy. So in India, nowadays concentrating on generating the power through renewable energy. We are concentrating that to solar and wind energy sources. So the renewable energy target, if you see the 2021, solar 57, wind 34, the all other put together 6%, biomass and small hydro all put together 9% only. So solar we are planned to get 57% in 2022, wind 34, the all other renewable energy 9% only. So this is the projection of renewable energy in 21-22. If you see here, Maharashtra 13%, Tamil Nadu 12%, Andhra Pradesh 11%, Gujarat 10%, Karnataka 8%, Rajasthan 8%, Uttar Pradesh 8, Madhya Pradesh only 7%. So all other states put together only 23. If you see the Tamil Nadu, we are maintaining the 2nd place. Okay. So this is the progress need for India to meet 175 gigawatts target in 21-22. So already almost we have reached Already our chief guest also said that the renewable energy system already installed capacity is nearly 1 lakh megawatts. Okay, so keep on. We are reaching towards 175 gigawatts in future. The following is the breakup for the total installed capacity renewable energy as of 31st May 2021. So the following breakup you will see here: the wind power 39.44 gigawatts, solar power 41.09 gigawatts, bio power plant if you see 10.34 gigawatts, small hydro power plant 4.79 gigawatts. This is the breakup for total installed capacity renewable as on now. So solar energy. So you all know that what is solar energy. So solar energy can be converted into electrical energy by using the solar panels. You already know that, or alternatively be used as a thermal energy using solar water heater and solar cooker, etc. So if you see that solar energy, the India solar installed capacity is 44.3 gigawatts as on now. So Tamil Nadu had the 5th highest operating solar power capacity in India. So Rajasthan has topped in installed capacity of solar in India with 7,737.95 megawatts. So Tamil Nadu is the 5th place. Rajasthan the 1st place for generating the power through the solar power generation. So this is the PV cell cost. So in 1977, so we cannot able to generate the power through the PV cell because the PV cell cost is also very high. If you see that 1977, the price of history of PV cell in US dollar per watt alone $76. If you see nowadays, it's almost 0.2 or 0.3 or 0.2 dollar per watt only. So nowadays, is the price also reduced for PV cells. So what is the challenges in solar systems? The big challenge is energy storage. So we need a battery. So this is a big challenge. So nowadays we are more concentrating battery also, battery management system. Nowadays we are more talking about battery management system also. How we can store the energy, more power with short duration, how we can get the more power from the battery. So there are a lot of research going on in BMS also, battery management systems. So the biggest challenge is energy storage. The solar power available during a day. So proposed to have a DC grid across the equator countries. So we need to put a DC grid. So then only we can transmit the solar power. The storage problem will be solved. So we know that sun is available for 24 hours across the globe. So this is solar. So how we can solar works? You all know that the solar radiation. Solar sunlight falls on the PV cells. Then again charge controller. Then we can store the power in the battery. Using the inverter, we can connect it to the AC supply. Otherwise, we can connect it to the DC supply from the battery. So next we will see about the wind power generation. So wind energy. So India is world 3rd largest producer of electricity generation using wind power by windmills. In wind segment, if you see that Gujarat, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka contributes about 95% of the India total wind installation. It's a very great thing. Okay. So all over the India, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka alone generating the power, 95% of the power generating through the wind compared to the other states. So Tamil Nadu is a leader in wind power in India. The total wind installed capacity in Tamil Nadu is as on now 9,633 megawatts. The total installed wind power capacity was 38.789 gigawatts, the 4th largest installed wind power capacity in the world. So this chart shows that wind energy installation across the states. If you see the Tamil Nadu 33%, Maharashtra 19%, Gujarat 16%, Rajasthan 14%, Karnataka 11%, others if you put together all the states only 7%. So this PPT shows that installed wind power capacity in megawatts. So if you see 2005, only 6,000 megawatts only we are generating power through the wind. So year by year, we are increasing, keep on increasing. If it comes to the 2020, so almost we have reached 38,005 megawatts. It's a very great thing. Nowadays, we are more concentrating on wind power generation also. Wherever the wind is available, we can build a wind power plant. So from that, we can generate the power through the wind. So the alternate energy, only the wind and solar. So the wind energy worldwide, if you see here, this is taken before 2020. Now it's increased. So almost India, we are maintaining the 5th position for wind generation across the world. India, we are maintaining the 5th position. Okay. So this slide, China is the 1st position, USA in 2nd, Germany 4th, Spain 4th, India is the 5th position. We are maintaining the wind power generation across the world. So this shows that wind and solar power generation. This is the old PPT. So now we almost reached the renewable energy already 1 lakh megawatt, both using the solar and wind. So next geothermal, already told you that it's very difficult to install. It is very difficult to maintain also. So the geothermal, a lot of energy exists inside the earth crust. The natural hot water springs are a good source for getting such energy. But its maintenance and plant for built up plant also very, very difficult. The maintaining the geothermal is very difficult. So the alternate solution only we can go for solar and wind. So this slide shows that the thermal power plant, how it works. So you all know that how the geothermal power plant works. From the earth, we are getting the hot water and given to the turbine. The turbine coupled with the generator generates the power, then given to the transmission line. So what we are getting the out of from the turbine, the cooling from the cooling water, again we are injecting through the earth only. So next to non-renewable energy, you know that. So I don't want to touch upon this topic. So you know that what is non-renewable energy sources. So only the non-renewable source available in India for massive production, only the hydro power plant and thermal power plant. So hydro power plant, you know that using the dam, we can store the water. Then using the penstock, we are giving to the alternator through the turbine. And the alternator generate the power. Then we are giving that to the transmission line. So this is the one hydro power station. So this is the hydro power station with the penstocks. So this is the hydroelectric dam model, how we can store in the water in the reservoir, then how is connected to the turbine, then generator, then transmission line. So this shows that how the electric power plant works. So this is the metro thermal power plant picture. So this is the thermal power plant, how it works for line diagram. So this is also how its thermal power plant works in the line diagram. It shows that. So next, energy. So energy can neither be generated nor it can be destroyed. So it can only be converted from one form to another form. You all know that energy neither be generated nor destroyed. Okay, it converts one form to other form. For example, in a room heater, electric energy is converted into thermal energy. So turbine converts mechanical energy into the mechanical energy stored in the steam to the electrical energy. So why we need to conserve? Okay, we need to conserve. We have limited fossil fuels. Already I told you that we have limited fossil fuels. That took coal, if after 100 years, after 200 years, there is no coal available in India as well as in the world. Okay, so how we can conserve now? Okay, nowadays how we can conserve? So our demand of energy is increasing day by day. It is possible that someday most of the fuel will be exhausted and we will have to switch over to the alternate energy. So we know that limited fuels at present consumption level, crude oil will last after 50 to 100 years. Then gas will last after 60 to 100 years. Coal will last after 100 to 200 years. So ever thought of life without oil and gas? So increasing the consumption. Furthermore, our consumption is increased day by day. This means fuel will last much earlier than our expectation. So this means the fuel will last much earlier than our expectation. So then that's why everyone talking about the renewable energy sources, that too wind and solar. The only solution is saving the energy nowadays. Okay, so we can do the energy conservation. So for that, there are a lot of energy conservation acts came into the picture. Okay, in India, government has passed energy conservation bill 2001 for the better utilization of energy and conservation of the same. By this act, it's mandatory for energy incentive sector to get their energy audit conducted by accredited energy auditors. Bureau of Energy Efficiency. This body keeps watch on energy consumption pattern, develops norms for application, etc. So it is also organizing different competition, example, poster, slogan, competition, etc. for the children as well as the peoples. So if you want to more to know about the BE, you can go to this website. You can see a lot of things. Okay, what are the acts came into the picture? So I already told you that. So to energy conservation, we can go for the star rating products. Okay, we can save the energy. Okay, nowadays in future plan, if you see that 2100, that time that solar and wind will roll more. Okay, so in that time also we can save the power. So how we can save the power? Go for the star rating components. Okay, so it consumes only the less power. So BE has also initiated star rating system for electrical appliances. Example, refrigerator, grinder, mixie, then CFL, geyser, etc. So in this system, 1 to 5 star are allotted to produce depending upon their energy efficiency. A 5-star product means that it consumes least energy. So it shows that how the incandescent lamp consumes the power, CFL and LED. Okay. So this slide shows that electrical bulb, if you want illumination high, okay, initial illumination, if you want illumination around 2500, we can go for the 150 watts for incandescent lamp. That time we can go for CFL only 40 watts. If you go for LED, only 20 to 30 watts enough to get 2500 illumination. Okay. So nowadays we are talking about more on LED. There are a lot of research also going on LED. So we can go for LED for energy conservation. So already I told you that if you want to purchase a 60 watt incandescent lamp, then you can go for a 13 watt CFL. So if you want to go for LED, the 9 watts is enough. So what can we do? So we the people can do our bit to save energy. We should not waste energy in the school, colleges, and the homes. So always switch off the light and fans, not in use. In the computer lab, we should switch off the computer before going out of the place. If there are less people, we can switch off the fan. So while going the purchase of new products, go for the five-star rating equipments. Okay. So how it will help? To take an example, see, if you want to replace the 100 watts bulb into 13 watt CFL or LED, okay. So how we can the annual saving? How we can calculate? You know that power saved. How we can calculate? Instead of 100 watts, if you purchasing the 13 watts bulb, okay, 100 minus 13, 87 watts. So if you are using per day 6 hours means 87 into 6. For 1 year, 365 days. If you multiply these three, you will get a 17,550 watts hour. If you convert it into unit, 17.5 units. If you put into 3 rupees, around it will come around 50 rupees. The bulb cost around only 50 rupees. So we can go for LED lamp. Instead of 100 watts bulb, we can go for 13 watts CFL or LED. So remember, to replace the light bulb, we can go for CFL and LED. So electricity could be available for more time. So what else can done? We should discuss energy conservation with our friends and tell others how we can reduce the energy consumption. So save power, money, nation, and the world. So this slide shows that electrical injury. So up to 1 milliamps we can save. Okay, we cannot, if you are touching the any wire up to 1 milliamps, nothing will happen to our body. If you are go to the beyond the 100 milliamps, our body will burn, will damage, and going to death. Okay, this PPT shows that electrocution, how it works. So finally, I can say that William Shakespeare says that three sentences for getting success: know more than others, work more than others, expect less than others. Thank you. So time will come. Next topic. So I will go fast with my third topic. I will go fast, or otherwise I will send it to this PPT to your mail ID, all to your mail ID. You can go through that. So little bit I will touch upon the grid system. Okay. So grid system. So if you see the grid system, you know what is grid system? From generation to the consumer through the transmission line. That's called a power system. So the power, for after generating the power, it is connected to the grid. So from the grid only it goes to the consumer. So what is smart grid? Smart grid is nothing but this is two-way communication. This is two-way communication from generation side to the transmission side and consumer side. Okay, this is the clubbing. That is a combination of all the generation. Okay, all the utility, that is consumers. Okay. So what is electric grid? The definition says that the electric grid is, or power grid is an interconnected network for delivering electricity from generation to the consumer. So it consists of generating station that produces electrical power, that is substation, stepping down or stepping up the voltage, high volt transmission line that carries the power from distant source to demand centers, distribution line that connected individual customers. So electric grid components, you know that generation means thermal, hydronuclear, renewable energy. HVAC and DC. Distribution means only AC and DC. Consumer side, if you see that, industry, commercial, and domestic. Consumer divided into three: industrial, commercial, and domestic. So history of power grid. So I like to mention here the history of power grid. So Thomas Alva Edison, the most predominant advocate of direct current was none other than our Thomas Alva Edison, also called father of DC current. So the father of DC current is, who is the father of DC current? Thomas Alva Edison. So next Nikola Tesla. So Tesla was a Serbian American inventor, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, and best known for his contribution towards the AC electric supply systems, also called father of AC. The father of AC is, who is that? Nikola Tesla. Father of DC is Thomas Alva Edison. So we'll go fast because next session will start 11:30. So Indian National Grid, if you see that 1960, the Grid Management Regional Bill started. So 1991, Northeast and Eastern Grid was started. Then 2003, West Region and East Region were started. So 2006, North and East Grid were started. Then 2013, South Region was connected to the Central Grid in the synchronous mode with the commission of 765 kilowatts. So nowadays, you know that the maximum power transmission line in India is 7. We almost reached 765. The project is going on for 1500 kilowatts or kilovolt also. So by achieving one nation, one grid, and one frequency. So factor affect the performance of existing grid. If you see that they increase the demand of electricity, shortfalls of electricity, the reducing the losses, that peak demand management, integration of renewable energy generation system, solution to global warming, better customer satisfaction. So overcome the difficulties of meter reading, power efficiency, then effective use of electrical vehicles. So what make the grid smart? I already told you that the digital technology that allows for two-way communication, that's called a smart grid, between the utility and consumers. And the sensing along the transmission line makes the grid very smart. If you see the customer perspective, if you already manage activities such as personal banking from your home computer, imagine managing your electricity in a similar way for examples. So customer will no longer have to wait for monthly statement to know how electricity to use with a smart grid. He can have a clear and timely picture of it using the smart meters. So can able to see how much electricity used using the smart meter. We can able to see, because this is a two-way communication. The smart grid has the potential to help to save your money also. The standard smart grid definitions, this already we have discussed and already told. Can go through after I sending you the PPT. So these are all the smart grid definitions. So duties of smart grid. So more efficiency transmission for electricity, quicker restoration of electricity after power distribution, reduced operation management cost for the utility, reduced peak demand, increased integration of large scale renewable energy system, better integration of customers and owners. So comparison of existing grid and smart grid. So existing grid, the electromechanical only one-way communication, the manual operation, okay, failure and blackouts, so limited control. But in the case of smart grid, if you see here, everything is digitalized, two-way communication, distributed generation, sensors throughout the sense. We have using sensors throughout the self-monitoring, adaptive islanding, okay, self-healing. So these are the smart grid components. So need for smart grid, already I told you that more loss in generation, transmission, distribution, and present grid. So customers are not getting reliable power supply. That's why we're going for the smart grid, because smart grid is the two-way communication between the customer and utilities. From generation and transmission, then transmission and utilities, all are two-way communication through the WAN and HAN, that is home network, home area network and wide area networks. So this is smart grid domains generation side. This is smart grid transmission side. This is smart grid domain distribution side. So benefits of smart grid. So benefits of the smart grid, benefits of utility and benefits of customers. So I will send it to the mail. Okay, you can go through these things. So easily you can understand. So next, what is smart meter? There are several drawbacks on electromechanical meter. Nowadays, we are using the meter. There are several drawbacks. There is insufficient, inaccurate, tamper-prone, no remote monitoring or control functionality, no consumer visibility on energy usage. If you go for the smart meters, so this is a two-way communication between the utility and the meter, recording of the usage of intervals, sending of data to the utility at least daily, internal switch to disconnect the power, HAN interface, recording of power quality, functionality ends the reliability and secure operation. So thank you. Thank you for your patient listening my keynote address. So I have covered what is energy scenario, then energy conservation, then introduction to the renewable energy and smart grid. So if you have any doubts, you can put it into the chat or you send it to the mail. Okay, I will clarify. Thank you for patient hearing. Okay, so next section will start at 11:30. So you go for break for 10 minutes. Okay, then you come back to the 11:30 a.m. Okay, thank you. If any queries, you can put it in the chat box or you put it in the mail. I will reply to you. Thank you one and all.
Thank you all. So thank you for your valuable introductory speech. Next session starts by 11:30 a.m. Handled by Dr. L. Ashok Kumar, Professor from PAG College of Technology. All participants are requested to join by 11:30 a.m. Thank you all. So again, participants are asked to note feedback session. Feedback link will be provided at the end of each session. So you need to fill the feedback form. So I will put it in chat box. So kindly note it over. You will share your feedbacks through that link. Thank you. Participants to note, I will share the feedback link in call message box, chat box. Please go on it, fill the feedback about the session, which is over now. So again, join by 11:30.